My name's Charlie McGrath. I'm the founder of WideAwakeNews.com and a host on the Rinse Radio Network. The Republic is dead. The Republic is gone. It doesn't exist. Governance of, by, and for the people, that's a joke. We are consistently being lied to. We are consistently being led from one crisis to another with the same solution. More failure being put onto the people of this country and being told that it's prosperity. It shocked a lot of people, not those that are informed, but it shocked a lot of people when John Crudell, the New York Post, came out just the other day talking about how the Census Bureau lied to the American people in September of 2012 by announcing the unemployment rate fell from 8.1 to 7.8% unemployed. He exposed the fact that Julius Buckman of the Census Bureau is a liar, and he was told to lie by his higher-ups in order to effect this change. You see, it's all about getting the people to believe we're on the right course. And that right course is emerging this nation further in debt and putting financial failure from private institutions onto the back of this people, this country. So should we care? Because after all, that was September of 2012, ancient history to a lot of folks in this country. And the unemployment rate was 7.8. Now, we're on the right track because we're at 7.3%, right? Absolutely not. Nothing could be further from the truth. The reality is, if we gauge the unemployment rate by the same metric we did just back in 2008, we're not at 7.3% unemployed. We're north of 11% unemployed. And if we use the metrics we used a few decades ago, we're north of 16, 17, 18% unemployed. But if you lie long enough and loud enough, the people buy it. And they believe we're on the right track. They don't see the storm coming. They don't see the $1 trillion of debt that the Treasury has issued in the first 6 weeks of fiscal year 2014. They don't see it unless they're looking for a job themselves. Just ask the 23,000 people that applied for the $12 an hour Walmart job in Washington, D.C. just a few weeks ago. 23,000 people applied for a job, only 600 were going to get hired. That's 1 out of 38 or 2.6% were going to get a job, a number of people who've applied. If you applied to go to Harvard, you have a 6.4% chance of getting in there. So you have a better chance of going to Harvard than you do finding a job in this so-called recovery. The lies continue. Why? Again, in order to steal from your financial future. Because if we believe we're in recovery on the right track, we'll continue things such as quantitative easing. So we'll lie about the inflation rate. The Federal Reserve says there's only less than 2%. That allows them to keep printing money out of thin air at nonstop rate. What does this do? Well, if you ask Andrew Huzier, who managed the QE1 program for the Federal Reserve, it screws the American people so much so that he felt compelled to go apologize to the American people, and in his own words told us that this has been the largest bailout in the history of this planet for Wall Street. A complete screwing of the American people, the largest bailout in history for Wall Street. And the lies continue. The latest, of course, is Obamacare. This was sold to the American people under 3 grand lies. 1, if you like your insurance, you get to keep it. Said scores of times to the American people. Lie number 2, more people are going to be covered. And lie number 3, we're going to get to pay less for that coverage. So let's take these one at a time. You get to keep your insurance. Well, to date, 4 million people have been dropped, right? And if you listen to Forbes, 93 million people could potentially be dropped. Lie number 2, more people are going to be covered. Well, to date, 100,000 people have signed up. So if you're doing the math between lie number 1 and number 2, that's a net loss of 3.9 million insured in this country. And if we look at the third lie, most people are going to pay less. Well, the Health and Human Service Department's own numbers were looked at and broke down by the Manhattan Institute, and they found that if you're a man in this country, you can expect a 97 to 99% increase in your premiums. And if you're a woman, a 55 to 62% increase in your premiums. The lies continue nonstop. Governed by crisis, offer a lie for a solution, and continue to indebt this country. Why? Because it isn't about serving we the people. It is about serving financial special interest. Plain and simple. And you better realize that, and you better prepare for what's coming. Because inevitably, when this Ponzi scheme of stealing from our future in order to pay for fraudulence now comes to an end, it is going to lead to the largest financial collapse this planet has ever seen. And most people are going to be absolutely blindsided by it. Stories are attached. That's all I got.